First thing is approve the January 11th minutes. Everybody have a chance to review those? Where's my pen quick?
Here, take mine.
Oh, I got it. It's started working again. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Seconded.
Additions, corrections? Marvin?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Yes. Okay. Cal, do you want to jump ahead so you can?
Oh, sure, doesn't matter to me.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
Come on up. About the community garden, I guess?
Yes, so we had, we ended up with 8 plots last year. We had a couple on the corners that weren't quite full plots, but that was okay, they weren't full anyway. But we've had a lot of people that have come up and were interested. And I talked to the park board at their meeting in January about the possibility of expanding it towards the water treatment plant and adding another row of 5 plots, because I think we have the interest of people wanting to do it. And the park board was okay with it, but we needed to come to the city commission to get approval to do that, and also if we could use the water again for this year.
Right, you charge like $30 a piece for water, I think.
Yeah, I think they were $10 or $20 a plot.
Okay.
So, and then what we didn't use for supplies then goes to the city to cover the water. So.
There's no utilities, right, I'm assuming?
Water.
No, but I mean, nothing we're gonna run into, right? Going that way?
Well, it's a garden.
Yeah, we're not gonna go that deep, so.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we expand the gardens and
Let them expand the garden.
let them expand the gardens and do the same as last year.
Second.
So how much are we getting per lot? Chelsea, do you know, for water, or?
I don't.
Okay. Because I know we had set a dollar amount per lot, and I don't, do you know what that was, or? I think we'll have to check on that, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know 2 of them, we had to till them under partway through. They went on vacation and they got behind on the weeds. But yeah, I can't remember. I don't remember if it was an amount or we set the amount per plot, and then the extra comes to the city, so.
Yeah, we'll check on the, because I know there was a motion on how much the water would cost per lot. We'll check on that, but whatever that'll be, I guess that'll be.
What kind of plants were grown down there?
Mostly vegetables. We donated just over 400 pounds of produce. The Lions Club had a plot. We donated just over 400 pounds of tomatoes, peppers, pumpkins, corn, and things to the McLean County Resource Center, so.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and I was gone, so things froze that first part of September, otherwise we would have hit a few more pounds, but.
Yeah, okay.
For the most part, people did a really good job. The park board and I did talk about, purchasing the black weed mat from the Soil Conservation District, and we'll put it down in all the plots. That will take care of a majority of our weed issues that we have had. So, and we could use that, the fabric will get rolled up and we reuse it
Nice.
year after year.
Anything else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Marvin?
Aye.
Aye. Yes.
Yes. There you go.
All right, thank you guys.
You bet.
Have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, you too. Okay, I'm not sure where she went, but we're gonna give her just a minute to come back, because she takes notes, so.
Never knew we had a community garden.
Last
No.
year was the first year.
Well, it's been there for a couple of years, but it was used for the
Last year was
first
the
time.
first year, yeah.
Are you ready, or should can wait a couple minutes.
No, you can go.
We all voted aye for the.
Yeah, we all voted yes, so.
You know that.
Okay, Bobcat, loader quote? Come on up. I don't know where he's at, I don't know.
He'll be right in here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What I did was I quoted this Snow Wolf, that's the brand that we handle. If there's another brand that you guys want, or, what I did was I did 2 different angle plows.
Have a chair. Please. It's a lot easier looking at you eye to eye than trying to look at you standing up.
Right.
Unless you want me to stand up to look eye to eye with you.
Nope.
Okay, and your name is Ron?
My name is Ron.
Obviously. Okay.
Yep, from Bobcat of Mandan.
Okay, I didn't even know you guys had loaders, so.
Yep.
Okay, so, so what can you tell us about it? You said you have 2 different kinds of loaders or something, or?
We've got the Doosan loader.
Okay.
Doosan is the parent company of Bobcat. We handle the Snow Wolf snow plows, is the one that we keep, the ones that
okay.
we keep in stock.
Okay,
And what I did was I quoted 2 different kinds of snow plows.
okay,
One is just an angle snow plow, that's the Alpha one, and the other one has sides that you can
Okay.
fold back so it make it wider, or you can pull
Yep.
it in to make it a snow
I
pusher.
know what those are, sure, okay.
We've been the dealer since 2015.
Okay,
We've got 3 service trucks. We've got 4 techs that are trained in on repairing the loaders if need be.
okay. So I see, so yeah, it's got a quick coupler, right?
Yep.
And, there's a 3rd valve, so you could run,
So you can run an angle. So
Right.
if you want an angle plow, you'll be able to run that.
okay,
It's got a JRB quick coupler on it. I'm sure that's what John Deere runs.
yeah, yeah.
How many gallons a minute does the 3rd remote,
I would have to look that up again. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
so it probably wouldn't run a snow blower?
Probably not.
Okay.
But I would have to double check that.
Mhm.
So these are payments and then for us to own after the payments are done, or not?
Right, there's payments on the first page, and then on the second page, there's lease. I did some lease quotes.
Oh, okay,
I wasn't sure how you guys wanted to do it, and
right. Okay, I see.
if there is another plow manufacturer, if you guys want something different, I can quote that as well.
Our, kind of the,
Oh, the snow gauge?
Yeah,
Okay.
people are kind of spoiled here in Washburn, so.
Okay. Here in Bismarck too.
Yeah, I know, right? But that's something that,
Okay, yeah, and I could quote something like that
Okay.
too, so.
yeah,
Now, is this quoted with good snow tires, or is it,
They're an L3 tire,
okay,
so they're gonna be a general purpose, kind of like what you see on the front page there.
okay.
That's kind of what they would look like.
those look like good tires.
And I believe that's probably what your Volvo has too.
See, it's got limited slip on it too then, right?
Correct.
On the engine end?
On the transmission end.
Transmission end?
Yep.
So it'd have limited slip differentials.
Is it the steering round and round and round, or is it lock to lock, turns it all the way?
No,
Yeah.
you do turn it. Usually it's the bigger cat loaders. I'm not sure about John Deere, but the cat loaders, it's only like a half or 3/4 turn.
Hmm.
Do they have a lockable, the other differential that you can turn on and off?
Yes, you can lock up the differential on that one, the rear differential on that.
Yeah, but can you lock up the other one too?
No.
Okay, so that's just a limited slip, and then
Right.
the other one's lockable?
Yep.
And that's what we were quoted, right?
Yep.
Okay.
kind of warranty do you have on these?
It's 1 year full with a 3-year, 5,000-hour powertrain hydraulic.
Can you repair anything that goes wrong on these things then?
Yes.
How fast is your service?
We got 24/7 service. Our policy is if we can't fix it in 48 hours, we'll bring you out one to use.
Okay.
So this 3 years runs out, no matter how many hours are on it?
It's three years, 5,000 hour for the powertrain and hydraulic.
What if, it's only got 500 hours in 3 years?
It's whichever runs out first. So if the 3 years comes due, but if what I found with Bobcat, they're a lot like Doosan, or Doosan is a lot like Bobcat, whereas, you know, if you're over a little bit, they've been pretty flexible with us so far.
We would not have 5,000 hours on it.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 500.
I was the Volvo guy here for a while, so I know how many hours you can put on, so.
Yeah.
Can you go into the computer over the internet to see what's wrong with it?
Yes.
You can?
Yep.
Okay. So if
We can
have
track it, so if somebody steals it, we can track it, we'll get codes if something goes wrong.
Yeah,
We get sent emails from the machine.
okay.
You mentioned stealing it. I gotta tell everybody a story I heard. There's a car broke down on the highway south here someplace on 83, and they left it sit overnight. And they come back the next morning and jumped it and fired it up, and somebody stole the catalytic converter out of it.
Common right now.
Okay.
Yep, we got the ones that did the farm already.
I'd left the keys in it, but they take the whole thing.
Okay, we're kind of getting off course here.
City of Dodge just purchased one. Theirs should be coming in this week.
Do you have any other cities that have them that we can check with?
Nope.
or-
Nope, City of Dodge, like I say, theirs should be in this week, so.
Okay, so they really don't know much about it yet
No.
either, so, okay.
We do have them out in the oil field. Haul Trucking out in Belfield has 4 of our loaders and 2 of our excavators. Jeb Fredericks has a couple of machines. He's up by Killdeer. We've got several in the area for ranchers and
Okay.
stuff like that.
Haven't had a lot of problems with them?
No. Kind of like the Maytag repairman on them.
That's what we like to hear.
So far, they've been pretty good for us, so.
Okay.
And we have been ranked the #1 dealer for Doosan, 3 years running, as far as parts, service, getting field modifications done, stuff like that, so.
Okay.
Tucson is actually Ingersoll Rand then, or?
No, they're different. Ingersoll Rand sold Bobcat to Doosan. I forget what year it was.
So I'm wondering, is this about the size of the loader that we have, I'm assuming?
Yes,
Yeah.
yep.
Be very
That
comfortable.
would be like your L70.
Okay.
I'm assuming DEF fluid, if I remember right.
Yep, anything over 75 horse and above requires DEF. Fortunately, we can't get away from it.
Emissions control pretty good on these machines?
Yes, yeah.
Common rail fuel.
Common rail fuel. Doosan builds their own engines. A lot of people don't know this, but Doosan is one of the largest engine manufacturers in the world, just like Cat. So their engines are in a lot of different things. A tractor line we handle, Coyote, they've got Doosan engines in them. As a matter of fact, you buy a new Bobcat now, it's gonna have a Doosan engine in it.
Is this the high lift or the standard lift?
Standard lift.
2 types of drive systems here, huh?
Yep.
Which one is recommended?
The ones I always order are the limited slip differentials.
The loader, is that self-leveling electronically?
Yes. Yep.
Does it have the step Or where you can set the,
Yeah, you can set it
Bucket.
inside the cab, yep.
yeah, but you can set it where you want it, then you can work from there off, like the excavators?
Right, yep. Yep, all that's done inside the machine.
Which, transmission system is recommended? Torque converter or hydrostatic?
This one's got a torque converter, a hydrostatic, we only offer them in one machine, that'd be the DL 200, that'd be 2 sizes smaller.
Okay.
Can you set the torque on how much force you'll put into it when you're like loading dirt?
Well, it's got different power modes to it.
Okay, that's.
So, you know, you can go with econo, or standard, or power. And it's got modes inside of that too that you can adjust and play with.
Keyless start, where you
No,
push in
this-
a code?
No,
or
it
is it
still,
a key?
still has a key.
Reversible fan?
Yes.
Like it
Comes
don't really,
standard.
we'll never be in that much dust, but.
Yeah. And I quoted this, with strobe light, backup camera.
Mhm. Right, yeah.
Changing over from a bucket to, say, like, forklift or whatever, pretty easy?
Pretty easy. Flip a button,
Just
roll the bucket back, hold it, let the pins pull
no,
out.
no bars down release
No.
or anything? Okay.
This 5-year warranty, is that on a different machine, or is that something else that it says here? 'Cause you said 3 year?
Yeah, 3 years, yeah, and you can get different warranties, so like,
You know, 'cause
Yeah.
there it's longer, so,
but the standard with the Doosan is 1 year full, 3 year, 5,000 hour.
okay. Okay, so that's, yeah, that's an option.
Yeah,
For the longer warranty, how much does that add on, do you know?
I'd have to figure that out.
Where do you fill the fuel tank at?
In the back.
Radiator, under by the...
Yep, you open up the back grill and,
You got the side doors on it, okay. It's not like the other ones where the hood electrically lifts.
right.
Adam, do you have anything? Questions?
I've already talked to him, so.
Oh, you did, okay.
Do you have a centralized greasing station
Yes.
on there?
Yes, we do.
Oh, really? That would be,
That, is that, can you
And
get an electric
everything is,
one?
what's that?
Can you get an
Yeah,
electric
you
one
can put
that,
electric one on there.
that automatically does it?
Yes.
oh, that'd be huge.
Mm-hmm.
That would be.
But that's not in this option, right?
Not in this option, no. If that was something you wanted quoted on there, I could definitely do it. Everything is ground level as far as maintenance.
Okay.
They've been very good starters in the winter time. We generally don't plug them in. I've had them start. I could walk out today and fire one off without having it plugged in,
Okay.
or this morning when it was cold.
A grid heater, I'm
Yes.
assuming?
Yep.
That's usually the best. Then, do these come with, heaters for the fuel automatically?
You can. You
can.
can get that, yes.
Okay.
The ones that I order in, I generally don't.
Why is that?
Just haven't had a need for them.
Okay.
And generally, I recommend, you know, some people like to run number 2 in the, in the winter time. We do have some skid steer guys that do that as well. That's probably when you'd want it. Otherwise, generally, everybody runs straight number 1 in the winter time.
Our loader's usually inside anyway, so.
Yeah, it's just whether it constantly heats it, so if you're out for 12 hours, so it don't start to gel up.
Yeah.
But, well, yeah, right. I get it.
That's the only thing I was wondering, if it had the,
Yeah.
just the hose that you, right from the water, that you could turn on and
Right.
off in the winter.
Yeah.
Any comments on this, Adam?
Not really.
Okay. You're awful quiet back there.
Any other questions? Any last minute pitch?
Like I said, we've had really good luck with the loaders. We have not had any major breakdowns.
So you said you've been a dealer since 16? right?
15.
Or 15?
Yeah.
How long have they been making these?
They bought out Daewoo, I think about 15 years ago, if I remember correctly. And then they re-engineered the whole thing, the whole line.
So they've been making them, the Doosan, for how long, probably?
About 15 years.
They have, okay, so they
Yeah.
pretty much redesigned it right away, and,
Yeah.
okay, got it, okay.
Are they building them in the US yet?
Not yet, no, they're still building them in South Korea right now.
So, do you have one coming in that you
Yes.
have available, or are we gonna have to wait for one?
No, I have some on order that are coming in. Also, I did check availability. I could get one, there's one in Tacoma, Washington. I could have one within about a week, 2 weeks.
All right.
Did you have to learn how to speak Korean?
No, luckily.
All right. Unless anybody has anything else, well, thank you, Ron.
You bet, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
we'll
for
let
your
you know.
time.
We'll let you know. Okay, you're next.
Thank you guys for letting us come up here and bug you. I'm Randy Huvestal, I'm with RDO in Bismarck.
I think I met you before.
I think so, yeah. I'm the John Deere guy.
Yeah.
I have kind of a complicated message for you guys.
All right.
What we're going with is our 3-yard, is what I was proposing to you guys. Oh wait, I got this wrong here. You get one of each here.
Oh,
I wasn't sure what direction you wanted to go, if you wanted to do a 5-year or 7-year, or if you wanted to buy out at the end, or a dollar buyout, however that works. Our finance guy was throwing a 7-year with a buyout at the end together, but I didn't have that ready. So what you have in front of you is a 5-year lease with a dollar buyout, or a 5-year with a balloon payment at the end is the first proposal.
okay.
And then the second shows the 7. The only difference in the actual proposals themselves is there's extra warranty in the 7-year, because Deere requires us to keep it under full machine warranty for the duration of the lease.
Okay.
So, the 5-year would have 5 years, 3,000 hours of warranty, full machine, and the 7 would have 7 years and 4,000 hours.
Full warranty, 3,000 for 5 years.
Yep. Now, again, you guys made the comment before, you're more worried about the years than the hours, just with the application
Right.
that you're in. This is maybe a little bit more loader than what you're looking for. This is our 544 is about 165 horse, about a 30,000 pound unit. So, but wasn't exactly sure where you guys wanted to land as far as.
You gonna have some pictures for us eventually?
Yep, there's a spec sheet there,
There is.
and then, yeah, we've got quite a few of them around. You'll probably get a little thrown off. We just made a transition from L series to P series, so your quote says 544P, the spec sheet says 544L. There is no change to the machines at all other than the sticker. Deere is rebranding just because I think too many people figured out their system, so we have to change it. Seems like the only reason we do it.
Just got bucket ride?
Yes, sir. Yep, and I have about every option in there. You're gonna have your front and rear differential lock and a full locking differential. You're gonna have the ride control, return to dig, all those features. We have They've gone to electric over hydraulic with the L series, so everything, all the valves have been removed from the cab. Does give you a few extra features. You can program some of your buttons right on the joystick. You can put your diff lock button right on the joystick if you like. We also have a bucket shake feature that's kind of neat. You just hit a thumb button and it shakes your bucket for you when you're loading sand or whatever you're doing with it. Radial tires like Ron's quote, and you had asked the question about the snow blower. We wouldn't be able to run a self-driven, or you'd have to have a self-driven snow blower for an implement this size. The hydraulic power just wouldn't keep up.
Which is probably, everybody's gonna be that way, I'm sure.
Everybody in this size class, yeah. And truth be told, you might want a little bit bigger loader too if you were going to a front-mounted snow blower. That gets to be.
You wanna hand me that manual since he's not looking at it?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
That's
I should
okay.
have brought enough for everybody.
Yeah, Billy.
Is there an option for greasables where it automatically greases everything?
Yeah, we have a factory option now with the P-Series. Prior to that, I have done one here and there, and we just have Industrial Lube do them. They put a Lincoln system on, and we actually deal with the guys right here in town. They come to Bismarck and put them on in our shop, so we have done that in certain applications, but not much of that, simply because everything's ground level and banked for the most part for the serviceability. But we can put them on.
A lot of room in the cab, huh?
Yeah, and going to electric over hydraulic has freed up a little bit of room with that. They're a little quieter as well now, and you have a couple different performance modes you can have now with electric over hydraulic capabilities as well. And there again, it moved the third hydraulic into a rocker switch on the joystick, which was always a complaint of ours, is having to get off of your joystick to run your third function if you're talking about your snow gates. And
Can you set the flow on that, so you can adjust how fast your
Yes,
third
you
function
can.
works?
Yes, you can.
That's
And you can
usually
do
the
that
biggest problem.
in the monitor, we can do that.
So you can set that and then
Yeah,
you,
and you can actually program it to memorize attachments. So if I've got my snow blade and I want to switch to something different, you can set that up in the monitor. Can be remotely tracked as well, just like about all of them now. 5-year subscriptions included in that. And you actually, one thing that Deere has with their machine monitoring is the customer owns that. You guys actually have to allow us to see that. Never going to come into a situation where a warranty claim, we see you heated it up 2 years ago. You know, that's your data. You can share it with us if you like, but we can push updates through satellite-wise. Sometimes we don't even have to come out, and then we try to stay with you guys, I guess.
My copy. Where are these things made?
These are in Moline, in our Dubuque factory in Illinois.
They're not made in Japan or anything, you know?
No, not these.
I like that cab, boy, there's a lot of room in there.
You said when you first started, you said this machine might be a little bigger than what we were looking for?
Yeah, I guess I don't know right offhand what the L70 comes in at horsepower and weight.
I don't know.
We have a 524 as well that gets down to 28,000 pound and 150 horse that might do the trick as well, but
You have a replacement if this thing breaks down and can't repair it?
yeah, we have a lot of loaders around, and we as well, if we can't fix it, we bring out a loaner. One nice thing is this takes all the oil and filters right up the street at RDO. Same John Deere oil, same John Deere filters, and if we had to, we could even reach out to them for service. Almost never do that, but it would be in a situation where, we're talking Sunday at 4 in the morning,
Right.
we can do what we need to do to get you guys going.
So you guys would, in Bismarck, would do the majority of the service on
Yep, yep. And, I mean, in an emergency, would come down from Minot, and then, you know, in a real emergency, we could actually call on our ag store here. It's all under the same management. Green and yellow is a different division, but we're all run by the same group,
Yep.
so.
How big a bucket comes with this one?
That was a 3-yard on that,
3-yard.
and that's the same JRB coupler that Ron
Okay.
had mentioned.
So that 524, that also is a 3-yard bucket, is that right?
It's rated for 2 3/4, but
Okay,
a lot of times folks will put a 3-yard on it.
yeah.
You know, it just depends on your application. You guys could probably get away with that, but,
We probably could, yeah.
yeah.
Very, we don't put a lot of hours on, you know, and,
Mhm.
it's not like
much weight.
it's not like we're loading trucks day after day after day after day, you know,
Right.
so. Okay,
As long as it's as wide as a 3-yard bucket.
Yeah, in fact, it's the same width, runs the same cutting edges, and just a hair different, depth to get to that. And yeah, Deere's kind of partnered up with JRB now. They installed the JRB couplers right in the factory. Used to be they'd make them drive across the street to the JRB Custom Works factory, and I'm not exaggerating, that's how it went. They were right next door to the factory, but now they just put the JRB ones on right there in the factory.
How they start in cold weather?
You know, don't really have any testimonials, and usually I get them if they don't start. But, our starting is push button. We've gone away from the arcing switch now. Everything's in the sealed switch module, so, just a push button start, but it can put a security code in if you ever had any concerns about that, if you had to leave it parked somewhere. That can be done, but most folks just leave them go.
any other questions?
Thank you guys for letting us come up here and bug you out.
Oh, absolutely, you know, thank you for coming up.
If you see anything that you have concerns about or questions come up, go ahead and,
On the rear hood, does that lift electronically like some of the other ones did?
ours opens up.
On the sides, right?
Yep, we
Or-
have,
yeah, okay.
yep, we have all of our service points come open. In fact, the only one that lifts up is the very rear, we call it a quad cool. All of our coolers are, none of them are stacked, they all get,
And like I asked him, is it a reversing fan?
yes, yep, you have a reversing fan here. And that's programmable as well. You can do it manually or just have it hit you every 20 minutes or whatever your frequency is. They say if you get out, take a leak, and you stand next to the hood and the fan goes quiet, you better get out of the way. Well, thank you guys.
Well, yeah, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Appreciate it.
We'll get out of
We'll probably have, you know, a couple of our guys review these and.
Right on.
We'll let you know. So,
All right.
thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you.
Now we got two troublemakers over there.
I'll just say this real quickly. One thing I do like about the Doosan is they have, you know, they don't have a cylinder in the middle. It definitely helps for vision, you know, seeing what you're dumping into and stuff, so that's the only thing I noticed.
What about the cab size on the,
But then
John
you
Deere?
I know, that's nice.
got, then you got about 6 more points to wear out.
I get it. Yeah, I know.
That's where that automatic greasing thing, if it's a good system. I don't know if I like the Lincoln one for sure.
Well, if you need an automatic one, but, I mean, if everything's right there, it's pretty
The
easy
bank
to
ones,
grease.
yeah.
Yeah, and they're on there, so.
I don't believe you should run a machine if it's got automatic greasers on it. So how do you know it works?
That's what I'm saying. The Lincoln ones are just which ones will take grease.
Right. Okay. Braden, on up. What would you like, sir?
Looks like waiving of, fees for the Memorial Hall.
That's for the, annual EM Emergency Services Banquet?
Yep. 20th of this month.
20th this month. Okay.
Normally, it would have been, this past Saturday, but we kinda canceled it and put it back on and canceled it a couple times, so now it's back on.
Well, I think it's nice that you do that. You know, I really do, so. I will move that we waive the fees for the, Emergency Services Banquet at the Memorial Hall.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Marvin?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. Yes.
I better be invited.
You're all invited.
So when is the 20th? Is that a Saturday?
Should be a Saturday, yeah.
A week from Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys wanna come on down?
So do you use the kitchen up there then too?
Did last year, so. The, what do you call it, happy hour type thing is at 6, and food's about 7.
Legion doing the happy hour again?
Yep.
They have to. They're the only ones that can.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but I was just curious.
Yeah.
We actually used to bring in our own beer years ago.
I don't know if you can do that. Well, yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
No, actually,
They let us get by with a bunch of stuff, but
Yeah, don't,
they did our hard stuff when we did the beer.
you're on camera, you know.
I don't care.
Can't argue with you or you'll let our house burn down.
We bring our own pot now, top of our.
Yeah, yeah. All the liquor should come through them, so, yeah.
But yeah, any of you guys wanna come?
Okay, thank you.
Fire department's footing the bill for the good stuff.
All right,
Sure, we'll be there.
we serve them for the meal.
Yeah, I almost guarantee you what it'll be, but
You
sounds good.
don't know what it'll be yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Legion always does their Swiss steak thing.
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah, it's always good.
Something I eat once a year, and it's really good every time.
Mhm.
All right.
Every time.
Okay, thank you, Clayton.
You bet.
Take care, Clayton.
What did he say they serve?
Swiss steak, I think.
Yeah, generally what they serve. It's really
Called
good.
whiskey?
Okay, next, Dollar General, they wanted after our last meeting, you know, we had discussed it, and I had called, Tyler, I think it was, and, you know, told him that we didn't actually make a motion on it, you know, but kind of explained to him, I said he could watch the video and stuff like that. But, and he told me he wanted a motion if they could, you know, go with the septic, or if they had to go with, you know, city sewer. So, you know, the thing is, I think we set a precedence, you know, we said, you know, Enterbase up there, they had to go hook up, so I think that's oh, that's what we have to go with. So I'm gonna make a motion that, if Dollar General wants to come in, they have to hook the city sewer at their expense.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Marvin?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I will get a hold of him and let him know that then. Okay, next, riprap at the boat dock. You should have something in your, they have this in there.
They have the picture, yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't include the emails
Okay.
back and forth that we've had through from July up until just recently when Bob had checked in to see what we were doing with it.
So, the state's kind of getting on us for, you know, not fixing this washout area next to the boat ramp. So, what does the email say?
He first initially, I think, asked about it back in like July or, when was this one, June.
June.
And then he asked about it, what we were gonna do, and then just most recently I have gotten an email back from him asking if we've done anything with it, and he's saying that now would be a good time with the levels of the river, and if we're gonna put in gravel or rock. And I've talked to Adam about it too, and did you put something down there?
So we filled it in with clay and then topped it with gravel.
Oh, you have done this already?
We filled it, we didn't put any rock on it,
Okay.
but we filled up the washout part, just so it didn't get any worse and, you know, keep eating out underneath.
When did you do that?
August or September, one of the two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And there are some rocks laying there, right?
Not very many.
No, but I saw some laying there.
Yeah, there's a little bit.
And those aren't, you didn't put those on there yet?
No, they're, a lot of them are like really large to be right next to the dock.
Yeah.
You guys should fill it with like a railroad ballast that don't wash away, and if you drive on it, it don't hurt nothing.
Yeah.
And does all that water come all the way from the top of the hill down the road?
It comes off that hill, yeah.
Ain't there a way to ditch that to the upstream?
We could. I mean, you'd have, I mean, there'd be a little bit there, but we could do it.
That whole thing needs to kind of be rebuilt a little bit, so. At one time, we had, at least the one side went upstream, went along the hillside and that way, but then, over the years, it's had rock in it, and it's, people drive on it when it's muddy, that's usually the problem, and it ruts all up, and then you try and blade it, and of course, you got all them rocks, and it's a pain. But, yeah.
Have a couple truckloads of railroad ballast there, and you could fix it once in a while with a skid steer. Just would be the rock makes problems, big rock.
Yeah, I know. Found that out. Yeah.
It'd be nice to have a little fabric, then the rock on top or something, so that,
Well, the main thing is that you get all that water from up on the hill, I think, comes down that road. That road is always washed out.
Yep.
We could cement that. Ask GRE for a donation. See if they would.
Talk about the road?
No.
Oh, just this part?
Next to there, yeah. See if they would donate for that.
Make a U-chop in there?
Yeah. That way we wouldn't have to worry about the rock and the washout and stuff. Just make it like a drainage right into the river then.
Something to consider.
Yeah, I don't know.
But for now, it's filled up, right, Adam?
Well, yeah, I haven't been down there in a while, but there shouldn't be any, there hasn't been any washout down there recently.
And the river will level, so when did they raise the river?
Oh, they've been raising it pretty steady over the past couple of weeks. But it'll never get, well, I'm not gonna say never, but even, it's not gonna get as high as where that washout is, probably, unless we end up in 2011 again.
Don't believe that.
No.
The flood. Okay, well, I think we'll go down and look at it tomorrow. And then we can take a picture and send it to them and say, this is where we're at now, and we'll, in the spring, we'll look at either putting the rock down or something else, so we'll get a picture and send it to them. So, sound good? Sound good, everybody? Okay. All right. All right, so, the next one is Washburn Area Housing Incentives, the, WAIA, is asking, they want to, Rhonda, you know more about this? Come on up.
Come on.
Come on up.
Come on, sit up at the table.
Come on.
Come on.
What she want now?
Is there anything, you gotta be up here. You're representing.
The Washburn Area Improvement Association would like to be doing welcome packets again, or start them up again for like the new, there'll be 4 different packets. There'll be new residents, new renters, first-time businesses, and then like the businesses that come in, like take over like K&D or like that, and they were wondering if the city of Washburn wanted to continue with their coupons, like the 3 free months of water and sewer for the, all 4 packages, I guess. That they'd give them a little incentive.
Right. I've been looking this over, and just to throw this out there, renters, I don't think we should.
Like ones who rent houses?
Right?
Okay.
You know, I think if you buy a house, but you have to own the property also, that's my thought. Then, you know, you would qualify for the 3 months of water and sewer.
Because the new homeowners, they would do, they talk about doing the 3 months, and if they rent somebody's house, they'd get 1 month of free water and sewer. We're still in the little,
What if they're only there for a month? What if they're there for 2 months? You know, that's where,
yeah,
you know, you don't know how long they're gonna be there. You know, homeowners, they buy something, they're gonna be there, you know, and that's, you know, and the thing is like mobile homes, people buy mobile homes, they move them into a park. Well, the park usually pays the water anyway, water and sewer anyway. That's part of their, fee, rent. Yeah. So, that's why I thought of, you know, if you actually buy a home and the land, that's my thought. Anybody else, go ahead.
because in the welcoming package, this would be something that Chelsea or Erica would put into the package. Because most of the ones, you know, they'd come to the city to sign up for water, sewer, whatever.
I see, as long as you got a limit on it.
Well, it's 3 months, and then it's, you know, it's basic water, 2,000 gallons, and then sewer.
That's what I mean, limit to gallons. I know how to burn a lot of water in 1 month.
Well,
or 3 months.
they have to pay for whatever over 2,000 gallons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see, she's got a 2,000 gallon limit.
Right, it's basic water, which is, you know, 2,000.
I would think that the renters, they'd rent it out and might abuse it a little bit more, the homeowner. You know, I think you are right that we should limit it to people buying new houses or buying a house or.
You think this attracts people?
Would that go to building a new house as well, or just
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're building a new house and
if they're,
you
as
have
long
the
as they're a
land,
new
so.
resident?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So if it's somebody in town that builds a new house.
Right. Just so, I mean, it's cut
That's a
dry,
good
you know
question.
who applies and who doesn't.
That's a good question. I would say probably not. Because they're not a new resident.
Right.
That's good point.
As long as they're a new resident, you could build or buy, you would still be.
If there's a new resident that builds a house, yeah. Then
That's,
they,
this is the new residence incentive. So like saying if someone went from apartment to a house, they wouldn't get this one.
well, if they bought the house. Oh, well, let's see. Yeah, well, if they've never, but if they're in an apartment, they're renting, see, they're not owning. This would be for owners, you know,
This is a welcome to Washburn packet, yep.
yeah. That's my thought anyway, so, but yeah, I mean, if you're renting, I mean, obviously, but if you know, you buy a house from someone, with the land, you know, like I said, not a trailer house, you know, except of course for the ones where the people own their lot where their trailers are on. If somebody bought that, I mean, it would apply. You know what I mean? Come up north of the cabin there's a few trailers on private lots there. That would be a home and a lot.
So if somebody's renting and then they decide to build a house, they would qualify for the 3 months free then? Say they're in an apartment now and then they're gonna build a house.
Well, basically, yes. You know, a lot of people,
Or yes.
a lot of people sell their houses, you know, and maybe it sells too soon before their new house is ready, so they rent.
Right.
You know, that's a little different story. You know what I mean?
As long as it's a new
A new,
land or homeowner type deal is what I'm looking at. Because it'd be a new residence or a new owner
Right.
in town.
right?
But some people come in and.
As long as it's a
rent
new
for-
owner in town, correct.
Is what I'm.
Keyword new
New.
owner, yeah.
New owner, yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
So if I build a new house, I couldn't qualify.
Nope.
It just ain't fair.
You got the new, when you moved in, you got the new packet at that time. 30 years ago.
I never did.
I never did.
I never did when I moved in.
Too late now.
See, but that's,
They didn't get them last year either, 'cause it took a couple years off.
that's profiling then.
Some got them last year, some didn't, then it kinda went by the wayside in the summer.
Well, the last time, you know, this happened, the ball got dropped on a lot of it. You know, and it just did.
That's a really good idea, I think.
I don't think it'll make that big a difference.
3 months isn't that bad, is it?
No, it's $40, $45
Each month.
each month, and then whatever they go
Okay.
over that 2,000, they're responsible for paying. And
Now
it's just
that-
basic water, that doesn't
Well,
include.
it's sewer too.
Or, yeah, so then.
And that doesn't include the garbage pickup or any of that?
Oh, no,
Right,
not
so they're
garbage.
responsible for garbage, and then
Garbage.
anything they go over the 2,000,
Okay.
so like $56, yeah.
It's up to, I guess, the commission if they wanna do 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or not do it at all.
Okay.
I like the 3 months,
For new owners.
new owners, I do like that. But if you're living in an apartment and you decide to build a house, they should qualify for that as well then, even though they're living in town already.
Well, yeah, but yeah,
That would be that new.
that would be the new owners.
Right,
Because they weren't an owner before.
right, but
Right.
renting, but if they build a house,
Right.
they should get it.
Or buy a house, 'cause maybe there's no house.
Or buy a house, you know, if they
available
buy
when
a
they
house,
move
that's the
on
same
with
thing,
their
they're a
job,
new
yeah.
owner,
Yep.
so. But like I said, you have to buy the house and the land. I mean, that's what it is. You can't, you know, do it in a trailer court per se. So,
Okay, thank you.
but we haven't voted on it yet.
You like being at the front table, don't you?
So I'll make a motion that we, approve the 3 month for new owners. And Chelsea, you can kind of describe that how you want, by what we talked about,
Okay.
for the, Washburn incentive. Welcome to Washburn incentives.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Mark?
No.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right, thank you. Grant research, water funding. So, we had Eric drop a, letter to FEMA asking to, letter to FEMA asking to extend, our FEMA grant to October of next year. And he did that, and, Lynn Oberg and I actually met with Sally Johnson, I think was her name. She works for, Senator Hoban's office, and we presented them with, also a copy of that letter. And in return, we had our 3 representatives, Hoban, Kramer, and, Armstrong, yeah, they all signed a letter to FEMA requesting that they do grant an extension. I talked to Eric today, we haven't heard back from FEMA yet. It might take a while, but, you know, hopefully, the grant will be extended. I also talked with Eric today about, you know, the State Water Commission, we have that $2.23 million grant. I was gonna have him write a letter to Representative Delzer. But he talked with the State Water Commission people, and then they said, yeah, we should probably wait on that a little bit till maybe April or May, when they're actually are gonna talk about that. And he'll keep us informed on, you know, where they're at on that. You know, if they're gonna pull money away from these projects or not. So, we're kinda waiting on that. And also, I would like, permission to have A2S look into some additional grants. Sally Johnson, she, gave us some places to look for additional monies for this water intake. And I would like to, have permission to, have Eric look into that. I didn't wanna, you know, say go ahead and do it without commission approval. I think there were 3 different ones, wasn't it, Chelsea, that?
I think there's 4.
Well, maybe there's 4.
1, 2, 3.
Was there one above? Yeah, there's 4. Different places. Yep.
So I'll make the motion that we have, AHWS look into these grants.
I'll second it.
Further discussion?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. Yes, okay.
Since we're on this weather thing,
Yeah.
any news on this Blue Flint line yet or anything? Nothing,
Nothing,
nothing from the county on that or anything?
nothing, no. No, you haven't heard anything, right?
No, I haven't heard anything.
No. Okay. Designation of depositories of public funds?
I actually found out today we technically only have to do that an even number of years, but
I thought we had to do it twice a year.
we get the letter twice a year, so I put it in there, but technically to designate the funds, we have to do it every year, but it's in here, it's on.
Yeah,
And
might as
so
well keep doing it, so. So, go
I
ahead.
included with it. So they had their board of directors meeting, January 25th. Our total public depositories for the end of the year for 2020, for these amount, $14,004,625,33, and the total pledged securities was $16,775, $177.89. The current par value of securities pledged as collateral for deposits as of the quarter end, December 31st, 2020, meet the FDIC requirements. And I believe we get another one of these in like June or July.
Yeah, I think we have them twice a year.
Yep.
Do we have to, approve this, or is it just for info?
Being that's only like really the even number of years that we have to designate it, you don't have to motion on it. But we can if you want to.
I'm gonna move
accept
we
it.
accept the pledge of securities from the Farm Security Bank. Be on the safe side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Discussion? Mark?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. Boulevard.
Okay, I don't know how you want to handle this, address it. We've had a complaint about something else which made this come up. But I guess it's kind of been brought to our attention that owners do not realize that they either have a boulevard or know what a boulevard is, who is responsible for a boulevard. So I guess being it's been brought up now, I thought we could discuss it or make it known kind of to exactly what it is, who's responsible for it, what they can and cannot do with it. just so it's clear across the board for everybody.
So basically, a boulevard is the area between the curb and your property line. That's a boulevard. And, it is city-owned, but the residents are responsible for taking care of it in front of their house. That's basically what it is.
That's a boulevard?
Mm-hmm.
I thought a boulevard was a section of land between the middle of a street where people are on one side, people are on the other side, and it's like an island in the middle of the road.
That can also be a boulevard. That can also be.
Is there a foot deal from the curb in? Is it 10 feet? I don't know. That's what I was wondering.
Well, it depends if you're on a street or an avenue, because our avenues are 80 feet wide and our streets are 66 feet wide, right away. So it varies. And then some areas of town, they have little narrow streets. There's only a couple of them, but.
So that boulevard, the way you're describing it, technically, if the city wanted to put sidewalks in, that would be on that boulevard then.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you're responsible for the sidewalk.
Yeah, then you're responsible for the sidewalk.
Generally, from the curb past the sidewalk is where the boulevard is. You know, because your property line's usually, just on the other side of the sidewalk, generally. You know, except of course, so many areas of town don't have sidewalks.
Right, that's what I was wondering. Was it 10 feet or?
Yeah.
or
6, I think, isn't it?
Well, he said,
Oh.
It varies.
it varies, so that's
Yeah.
why I was just trying to get a rough idea.
Yeah, different areas vary, but it is owned by the city. It's, but homeowners are responsible for taking care of it.
And the trees, right?
Yeah. The only time the city has really stepped in for trees is when there's, you know, like Dutch elm disease. And then that's generally up to the forestry board to make that decision.
And we'll also trim them, too.
We trim?
We'll trim them, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so that it doesn't damage our equipment.
Yeah, we don't hit our equipment in the winter.
Right. Which reminds me, do you see those trees down the coulee here, hanging over?
On the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those need to be probably trimmed, so, or cut back, okay. Does that answer your question? Or do you need more answer on that?
No, that should be good. And nothing should probably be stored in that area, correct?
Correct?
Because that's for snow removal, where we can push snow onto that.
Or vehicles should not be parked on there.
They should not be, no.
Or campers, or,
They should not be. The thing is, if they're sitting there and they get damaged, you know, with snow removal or whatever, you know, then you're gonna go, well, you damaged my stuff, well, you shouldn't be parked there. So what you're thinking, Chelsea, is we need to get it out there that, so that people know they're not supposed to be doing that, is that,
Yeah, I think so.
you and Eric are gonna figure out a way to
Yeah.
notify
Do that.
people on that?
Yeah.
So technically, I couldn't park on my front lawn near the curb then?
You're not supposed to, no. I mean,
But I have.
Draw you a picture.
I know,
Please,
I know. The thing is,
Eric will draw it for you.
it kind of depends, because, you know, you're in a spot where there's no sidewalks, you know?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
The thing is, you know, where there's sidewalks, you don't want to park in between the sidewalk and the street. I mean, that's, you know,
There's usually
people
not
use
enough
the
room.
sidewalks, and there's usually not enough room, but people do it. You know,
because there's a lot of campers that are being parked along the way.
I know. Yeah.
And they're not tied down, so the wind can move them.
Yeah. It could, I guess, yeah. That's something we can work on, you know, and maybe that's in our updated ordinance, you know, because we're gonna do that snow ordinance.
Yeah.
And we can maybe do a parking ordinance also with that. You know, put that in
Okay.
there. I guess,
Yeah.
right? So, anybody else have any ideas on that, or?
If somebody calls in, have a answer that's uniform for everybody that calls
Absolutely,
in.
absolutely.
You don't really have to send out a letter, or what's your plan?
I don't know. I think we're gonna start doing a did you know section on the website, or putting it on Facebook just for little
Yeah.
things, and especially with spring coming up, if these are gonna become issues now, where one person's gonna get nailed for it, then 3, 4, and 5 are gonna say, or this person's gonna say, well, then they can't do it either, if I, so I just think it's gonna be, we're gonna have to look at that and have a direct answer of what's acceptable and what's not,
Right.
especially with parking now too. It's becoming an issue because people are taking advantage of it, so everybody's starting to get nailed with it.
So I have another question then. Does that pertain to your driveway as well then? If you're parking, say, I'm parking 2 vehicles deep in my driveway, and I'm right up to the end of my driveway. So is that technically a boulevard towards the end of the driveway as well?
Well, it technically is, but it is your driveway.
You know what I'm saying? Because people do park their vehicles too deep, and they're pretty close to the end of the driveway.
Well, if, you don't have a sidewalk, right?
No,
If you had a sidewalk, it would be a big deal.
right,
Because then you're
then you're over the
Then you're impeding,
Right.
People that walk through.
So, if a snowplow comes through and damages my vehicle, that's my problem, because I parked it down the end of the driveway.
If you're that close, that's your problem. We're not gonna deal with it.
So, if Adam comes by and nails my truck someday, that's my problem.
If you're that close to the street, yeah.
Well, you'd
Okay.
have to be outside, you'll be on the street past the curb if he hits it.
Yeah, I know, but
Sometimes he gets a little deeper.
yeah, especially with that thing hanging over the side. But no, I was just kinda curious.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I have to double park my vehicles, because I do have a lot of vehicles.
I do too.
And I end up being right near the street, but not in the street.
Right. Well, the chances of you getting hit are pretty nil if you're in several feet, so. Yeah, it's,
I was just curious.
but there's some spots in town where people are parked right on the edge of the curb, inside the curb, in the grass, so.
I think you just have it written where, like Larry said right off the bat, from their property line, wherever that is, and they're all different, to the curb is a boulevard, and give them a definite answer.
Right, exactly, yeah.
With an exception being the driveway.
Done deal.
Yeah, then it's cutting away.
Well, unless there's a sidewalk. It's still the boulevard,
Yeah.
Sidewalks are on the boulevard,
They're in the boulevard.
and then the property line is in about another 6 feet at my place,
You have a sidewalk?
if there was a sidewalk. But I mean,
Right. Right. Okay. I think that answers it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, I think it should be good.
Okay. We have no AHUS update? Or I just gave you one, I guess. Portfolios. Mr. Stroh.
don't have nothing.
Kip?
I'll let Adam do the fence deal, but we got some more quotes on the fence for the compound, so that's all I have.
Okay.
And we had a meeting last week, Thursday, about, new employees, a new employee we're gonna hire.
Okay.
And I think we mentioned it to, Chelsea about, calling them. I don't know if she did or not yet.
Nothing has been mentioned to me.
Really?
Adam made a comment about doing it, but, I was never told if I needed to get a hold of him or not. I did not know who was doing it. I was not involved with it, so.
Okay.
That would be up to you to.
Right, so we'll have to do that. But, we have, what, six of them we have, correct?
Yeah, there were 6 applicants.
Right, and we went through them the other night with Adam, and, we kind of put 3 of them off to the side that we think are really possibilities.
Okay.
But if we call a couple of them because they live way out in Timbuktu, if they're moved closer to Washburn, then we'll probably meet with all 6 of them. But one of them lives in Beulah, and
Right.
and another one lives, where's that other place?
Baldwin.
Baldwin, and that's pretty far to come.
Underwood, yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, that's something you guys deal with, so.
Right,
I'll-
right, we'll
yep,
deal with it.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No.
So the tree dump site back here, that's all cleaned up. Stumps, logs are all gone. I would like to close that off for the winter, except for the ash dumpster. You know, we don't need people dumping stuff there in the winter, so that's what we're gonna do, okay? Okay, very good. So you'll move that ash dumpster then, Adam?
Yep.
Okay. Other than that, I only have the compound gate, so, and you already asked
Yeah,
me to take care of that, so. Chelsea?
Go ahead.
Oh, you have something?
Can I ask, who's supposed to take care of sidewalk on the front and back of the memorial building?
Generally, our guys.
Like snow?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it should be taken care of all the way from on Frontier all the way.
What about like the post office? They got somebody hired to do it, but
They obviously don't do it then because,
I'm tired of doing it.
well, you're the one.
You know, I don't know what the scoop is or how many times the buses come down and put kids in that memorial building. Well, I think a dozen kids can truck a lot of snow in on that place.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
just, it's a lot to move by hand.
Yeah, you guys should be actually doing all of it from Frontier all the way.
You want us to do all the way down Main? Because,
Well, I want you to do at least past the Memorial Hall.
okay, yeah, we probably should have got the Memorial Hall, but I guess my understanding was it was, us doing the entire Main Street was more of a convenience for us than a convenience for the property owners, because they're the ones that are supposed to take care of the sidewalk.
They're supposed to take care of their own,
Yeah.
but they don't.
And normally us
Some do.
moving it.
Some do.
Some do, some are very good.
Some do.
But us moving it is more of a, it's easier for us to move it and then plow the main than for,
Yeah.
you know, the plow and then them to move like 5 inches of snow off. And there's only been like 1 inch, so we haven't been doing it, so.
Right.
So, do you have a,
Broom.
broom-like that you can put on the end of a bobcat or something?
We
When
have
the
a-
snow's only 1 inch deep or whatever?
We have a broom, I don't like using it for moving like an inch of snow,
Why?
because people that have run it in the past just eat through the broom.
Mhm.
And it's like a lot of money to spend on removing snow twice off Main, and you have to change the broom now. We can put the snow blower on, it'll dump it right on the curb. It won't throw it, but at least get it off,
Why do you have to change your broom?
because it eats up the,
Too much down pressure,
Yeah.
eats the
Well,
brushes.
it's called operator error.
Yep.
People just jam it in there and go, and you're not supposed to. All you need to do is just touch it, you know, but.
Okay.
I cleaned it 1,000,000 times with my snow bucket. It was 7 feet wide, but there's a couple of spots you can't get behind the deal, but a dirt bucket take a long time to make a mess.
Actually, a
We have
blower
some-
works better, just like a leaf blower.
Yeah, that's what my neighbor
If,
uses.
if you would have something that you could,
we do have something like that, yes, yeah. I don't know where it's at, but we have one.
but that's what should be being used, and just blown for the light stuff, and get to it early.
Well, it may be, you know, letting these businesses know that it is their responsibility. I mean, like you said, some of them do a really good job.
But they can't, Adam goes out there at 6 o'clock in the morning, cleans Main Street, and the sidewalks ain't clean is the problem, right? And then if there's a lot of snow, it's still on the sidewalk, and they don't even open until 8.
Yeah, if there's a lot of snow, we move it for our convenience.
Right, if there's a lot of snow, they'll move it so that when they clean the street, they don't throw right back in there.
Yeah, and we
Never
passed like
happened.
inch and a half snows, and we were like, whatever.
Never happened.
What do you mean, it used to happen all the time?
Never happened.
I used to do it all the time. I can't even remember a snow more than 3 inches that we didn't clean the sidewalk.
Yeah, no, you always have.
It's always been that.
I know, because I'd be down there helping do it. When was the last year I came down and helped do it?
You would call it both help.
Yeah, so, yeah. Well, let's make sure we get that done. Okay. Anything else, Mark?
No.
Okay, Chelsea.
Our audit is scheduled to begin February 22nd for 2020.
Are they coming up?
No, it's all remote. I started sending him some stuff already, and we've got a list of what they need, and
Okay.
I'll work on that again this week now, getting it off them next week, but everything's all gonna be remote again, and
Okay.
that'll be done earlier this year.
That'll
Did
be
they
nice.
give us the price? Roughly?
Fair price?
Roughly the same. He said maybe
Okay.
the $600 more than what it was last year when I had asked last year when I was preparing the budget.
And that's the state?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
state
we
again.
want the state to.
Yeah, he's good to work with,
Yeah.
and
Right.
so everything that recommendations or transfers or fixes that will have to be done will be made into Black Mountain, so they're reflected with that and going forward, because all numbers that she's pushing over from 2020 are gonna stay final then, so that they'll match what we give the auditors, and then going forward, anything fixes will be in there with our new system going forward.
How is that new system?
Good.
Like it?
Yes, I do. I really like it.
Good.
With that, are there certain reports that you got for financials that you don't think we need, or that you would want to see differently, that we can run now going forward, that you guys want to look at? There's a really nice trial balance sheet that we glanced at. Numbers aren't accurate because the budget's not in there yet. That's what we're gonna start working on.
Yeah.
But if there's just certain things that you guys want to see, so that we know going forward to print, to prepare that, any type of financials that you want to see that you didn't see.
I think there's a lot of that stuff that I get, man, beat that thick,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that, I think, a lot of it had to do with specials, right, and stuff.
Well, because you've got the expenditure guideline,
Right.
or the expenditure summary and the revenue summary, which it detailed it all out. There's a report similar to that, or we can do it just by fund, so you can kind of see which fund is being used or for expenses going out. Instead of broken down by each line item, it could just be our highway weed paid X amount of dollars, or the highway brought in X amount of dollars.
And I think
Just so you can see
I think
that.
that would make sense, and then if we have a question on it, then we can always go further into it,
Okay.
Because quite honestly, a lot of that, you look at it and just go like, wow.
It's a lot, yeah.
It is, so I think just, have just the fund, I think that would be fun.
So, is there some way we can get rid of this paper trail that we have to look at every meeting? Could you put it into some sort of a report or a spreadsheet that we could look at rather than looking at individual bills?
Well,
If you don't want to see the documentation, yes, that bill list that's all right there is gonna tell you what it's paid, if you don't want the invoice. But that bill list summary that is printed right there, tells you who's being paid, the amount, and then there's a summary for each fund, broken out for highways, street, or water,
Yeah,
sewer.
So that's that page that was at the very bottom of the stack that we had.
But otherwise, yeah, you can have that.
Is that a good way of doing it? Right, I saw it. But is that a good way of doing it, rather than getting our stacks of paper every month?
Well, you have to do those anyway, right?
Right, I know.
So, I like looking at them.
Yeah, that way if we have a question, we can
Yeah.
open
Okay,
it up.
okay, just asking.
Yeah.
I'd still like to see that sheet come out every month though, too.
You will have that sheet every month, because that needs to be signed off on, because we changed it now going forward. Checks will not be physically printed, for the meeting. They'll be printed tomorrow morning. So that's the sign off that
Okay.
Larry and the commissioner will sign off on, so you know exactly what's being paid, so nothing extra can be paid. But that way, if there's a check that you don't want to pay or disagree with or have an amount, I'm not having to void it, reissue it.
Yep.
So
We
it's
can
all
fix
checks and
it.
balances then is what
Correct.
you're trying to
Yep,
do?
yep.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Perfect.
Weber was not able to get us a quote that, we've asked for, waiting on the repairing of this light over here. And they're gonna give us a quote, having to dig it up or just straighten it. Two different quotes, two different scenarios, what they're gonna have to do with it, 'cause they won't know until that, so hopefully we can have that soon. The LED light that they were going to demo did not come in, so she said when they get that, they're just gonna go ahead and put it up in that light so we can see it and see if we like it or not.
Okay.
And then going with that, if we're gonna put LED lights at the library, 'cause multiple of them are out, Adam.
Yeah, there's a lot of bulbs out and a lot of, ballasts need to be replaced, so if we're gonna do it, we should probably do it now.
All right, bells are expensive.
Yeah.
And you were going to get a quote on whether it was the whole assembly or retrofit for a price, right?
I don't know what,
They
because
were-
I talked to them first before I talked to you.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what they normally do, but I guess they're gonna quote us what they normally do.
Because retrofit is pretty easy. All you take is the ballast out and then reroute the wires inside.
Yeah, and then you CERN the right bulbs.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so. That's all I got.
I looked at the light, did it move the cement base?
It's tilted, yeah.
It's tilted.
Yeah. They really nailed it.
I looked at it, I couldn't see where it moved.
Look at the pole.
There should have been some damage
Like,
to whatever hit it.
Huh?
Like Mike said, we got a couple quotes for fences, for down at the compound. We got a quote from Dakota Fence, of course, and then we got a quote from Security Fence out of Minot. The numbers that I got, each one I got a double swing quote and then a rolling gate quote. Both numbers from Security Gate were quite a bit cheaper than Dakota Fence. I don't have the numbers on me, Mike has them over there.
Yep.
Can we see that in a minute? So the, security fence, materials and labor to remove existing gate panels replaced with 2 new 6-foot panels with hinges, the swinging ones, $2,255. Materials and labor to remove existing, gate panels, install 1 single rolling cantilever gate with new rollers and adding a 4-inch post to balance off the gate, $3,904.05. And I don't have the other ones. Do you have the other ones?
Well, this is the other one.
How much were those?
It's,
You could read.
one-
You
The
could read.
6-foot, 2 6-footers wide enough?
Oh, these are the, these
Tall,
are,
6 feet tall.
Oh,
oh, so, yeah.
Plus barbed wire.
The swing gates were 4,178 and the other one was 6,173.
Yeah.
Quite a bit more on the Dakota Fence quote.
Well, Mr. Mike, you're the buildings and grounds guy.
Well, I was talking with Adam, and I like the idea of cantilever one, because usually the wind blows through them a little bit better. If they do block in, you can go in and shovel out the end and open it a little bit and get in with a skid steer and work it, where the swinging ones, you have to move all that snow to get into them to move the snow on the backside, if you don't have a piece of equipment on the inside. I would like to go with cantilever one, in my opinion, but I'm open for suggestions and see what you guys think.
Does that include mileage? Those materials and labor, does it include mileage?
You don't say. And that would be the 390405. And that's kind of what we have down at the water treatment plant.
And it
we
works
haven't-
well down there,
it-
doesn't
it-
it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's automatic, right?
One of them is, one of them isn't. One's a
Oh, the one down below?
Yep.
Okay. And this would obviously be manual?
Manual.
This would be manual, yeah.
Which we could always upgrade if we see a problem with that,
But
but,
I don't think there'd be a reason.
but I think there's too many people that can go in there whenever they want.
Well, we need to do something down there, because that's absolutely horrible. Make a decision.
I make a motion that we put a cantilever fence in for $39.04
I'll second it.
Discussion? Marvin?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
What's a cantilever?
It's a rolling one.
Rolling one. Instead of swinging gates, they
Some
just
rollers.
roll, like up at, where they build the houses, where they put those
Why
in.
did you
now.
say rolling? That's a lot easier to say than cantilever.
Adam, what else do you have?
Couple weeks ago, problem came up about our Unimog. Basically, it's with the engine, which is the Mercedes. And we talked to, I think they're called I-State Trucking now, the trucks of Bismarck. They've worked on our Unimog before, and they said they'd take a look at it for us. Our best guess is that it's something with the engine control unit, but, I mean, it's got error codes on it, but we have no way to read them, so.
So you need to take it in there.
So our plan is to take it in there. We probably have, Chris haul it down.
It's gonna have to be hauled, right?
Yeah, there's no way you could, no, we couldn't drive it down.
What happens is,
It's running in what's called an emergency mode, where it runs at a steady RPM. Or, either that or the accelerator doesn't work at all, depending on, how long you're sitting there. But basically, it's not drivable, so.
You know anything about that, Mike?
I'm thinking that some sort of sensor, either a pot sensor or something is not reading correctly, and you're gonna have to have the computer to tell you the quickest and, be done with it, so it'd be best to haul it down there.
Okay.
My other question is, when do we wanna decide on a loader? Because I'd like to be more with the loader and less with the Unimog.
Well, we need to review these.
Yeah, but I mean.
But, yeah, very soon, well, we gotta get it fixed anyway, but.
Right, yeah, exactly. But if it is a major expense, you know, how far do we wanna go with that Unimog?
Well, I mean, if it is, you know, we'll have them tell us.
Right.
If it's gonna be a major expense, you know, they need to let us know.
That's why I was wondering how fast we need to get on this.
What would you define as a major expense?
Well, they can let us know what it's gonna be.
Okay.
Well, that Unimog will do a lot more street per hour than a loader will.
I would say it probably would, yeah. Yep.
I would say.
And a lot more,
Also, it stands.
fuel efficient and
Yeah.
time consuming.
Right.
Chris can haul that down there?
He said he could, I talked to him this afternoon.
Is it able to drive on a trailer?
I talked with him about it, and I think he hauled it down there for us one other time. So, he said he could get it on there, so.
He doesn't have a winch or anything to pull it up on it or anything, does he?
Well, he's got everything to push it on or whatever. I'll just-
Yeah, we'll get it on there.
Yeah.
It's not a-
There's a payloader here, it'll go on.
Yeah. Is there any big snowstorms coming?
Not on the forecast.
Okay, try and get it down there as soon as we can then.
Jesus, man.
You know, but then see if they can work on it right away, you know?
Yep.
Okay.
You got him both loaded.
I forgot one thing.
Just a minute.
Okay.
You have anything else, Adam?
Three-ways, it didn't have that big rock.
Okay. Don has something else too.
What about the, doors at the, Memorial Hall?
They're coming up to look at them. The timing's not right, the locking posts are coming out while the door is open, and they're not catching on the latch, so they're supposed to be coming up to look at them,
Okay.
so.
Yes, so anybody that unlocks and locks, double make sure that those doors are shutting behind you if you're in there.
Mhm.
Because some of them are not shutting, especially that west door. A lot of people don't use the west door.
Thought they fixed that.
No, that's along with this issue that they have to come back and fix with
Oh.
the,
Right, there's a little button up on top
Oh,
that,
that's, okay.
yeah.
if you push the lever on the inside, that latch goes. But if you do it electronically, that latch is not working up there.
Okay, and that's why it's not closing, okay.
That's why they're popping out and they're sticking out, and those doors are open this far,
Ooh.
and they will not
Well,
go
yeah,
shut
I can,
because of the deal.
okay.
But when you push the bar and it goes open, then that little button's unhooked. But when you do it electronically,
Okay.
that button is still shut,
Okay.
so it don't latch.
Sure.
So
Not driving.
it's a door problem.
Okay, they should be able to fix that.
Yeah, they're supposed to be coming out to do that.
Do you know when?
No.
Okay. That's on both doors then?
On both doors,
Both doors. Okay.
it's an issue. The two aren't talking together the way they should.
Okay.
So,
So do people that use it, do they know that? You know, if when people rent it,
I don't know if they've been told.
or isn't that an issue with them because you have it set for certain times, or?
Well, it has been an issue before that we noticed, but one of the things that I know was causing an issue with the thing is reading is those hex keys being used to
Oh.
unlock the door with automatic locking,
Right.
because then it's not, they're unlocking it, but then when it goes to lock, so it's not reading together to get it locked. I know the west door has the biggest issue. A lot of people don't use that door. We give everyone access pretty much to the east door.
Right, okay. Okay,
But I thought it should be relatively soon that they were coming back up within the next couple weeks,
okay,
from last week when we talked to Bruce, but
okay.
So who checks the door if they don't go closed then? Say the doors don't latch and they don't lock.
well, we're trying to tell everybody now to
Yeah.
watch it. If there's an issue, then we need to be made aware of it.
We should probably notify the police department to check those at night, at least until it gets fixed,
Okay,
you know? Because, I mean, they patrol, they could check,
yeah,
You know,
make
make
sure
sure
it's
that
locked.
if
And
they're not, they
every
can
once in a while, I know they do
push
security
the button
checks,
or whatever,
but
and.
Bernie Fife used to
Well,
walk.
the button won't do anything in there.
Huh?
The button won't work in there like that. If you hit the button right now and it's locked, they don't really work. They don't open because they're locked.
Talk about the inside? No.
No,
Not
it's
sure what
on the
you need the
outside.
button.
But they're hooked funny together. They hook the swipe deal in with the other deal. The other thing I don't like, and I told Bruce about it, when this guy comes up, if you hit to go out with that inside button, and it starts putting pressure on it, trying to open that door, and it's still locked, you just about can't push that bar to release it, to get out.
When you push a button on the inside, shouldn't it unlock?
It's not unlocking.
But it should.
It should,
Yeah,
but that's the problem, something isn't right with this
okay.
door deal.
So they've definitely got issues to fix.
They got issues.
So if you open it up with the key card and you go in, you shouldn't have that problem going out then, right? With the door?
No, your key card only does for 8 seconds. If
You
hold the
open it
door-
up and then the door closes
Right.
and then you leave, are you gonna have problems getting out?
If you push the button for handicap to get out, it's still locked and it jams everything up.
Well, so you don't wanna hit the handicap one then.
Right, you gotta push the other deal first before you hit the handicap deal. So that's
Ah.
where we got,
We better get some explanation out on this.
Somebody needs to be schooled.
we need the lock guys and the door guys to get it straightened out.
They need to straighten that out. And if you
Yeah.
push that button, it should unlock it.
It should automatically unlock it before it opens, and it's not doing that. That was the one I did it on Sunday. Now, they haven't been up yet that I know of.
Okay.
So
I know
I
you had
don't know
you had
when
sent me a message
CHI is
that you
coming.
were there, yeah.
Yeah, I was there and I was having issues with it.
So handicapped people are gonna hit that button.
Right, and then
Or
it
the
jams
other.
that deal, and then you're gonna get scared because you can't. I didn't force it because I didn't wanna break it, but I pushed on it fair and it didn't pop open. So,
Yeah,
we don't have it taken care of yet.
yeah, they need to get that pretty quick.
Yeah, I know Bruce has CHI coming back up, so.
Yeah, and I would like to know when that is, if possible.
I'll give Bruce a call, find out.
I can give.
I think they're gonna notify him, right? I'm guessing.
Well, he called him telling
I'm
that
guessing.
you wanted, yeah.
Cause he said he'd let us know.
Okay.
Yeah, but.
Cause he's been dealing with them, I haven't dealt with them at all,
Right.
Bruce has dealt with
Right.
them.
Because the Legion paid for
Right,
doors,
they,
right?
they
The
paid
only
for the
one
doors and stuff.
that we've dealt with directly is the
The key
Prima
lock.
system, the locking, the card
So-
control system.
If I can get information, and I'll try to get ahold
Okay.
of Bruce, if they gave him a date.
Okay, anybody else have anything? Pay bills? Everybody have a chance to review the bills? I make a motion to pay the bills?
I'll second it.
Marv?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. Next meeting, March 8th. Thank you everyone for coming, meeting adjourned.
Got a damn rocks bigger than